Hello, this is Frankie or Francis Molyneux here. I'm trying a slightly different setup today. I'm putting you guys on a stand because I want everyone to stand up because chances are you have been sitting and you may have been sitting a lot more than usual. So that's going to mean that to get a little bit more of my full body, I'm going to need to back up. So that works, kind of. Wish I could tilt this a little bit better. I'm still learning how this works. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there may be some tilting involved. So to start off with, I want you to come into standing, and I want you to scrunch up your face and scrunch up your fists and scrunch up your toes and your feet and your back and your shoulders and your throat, and still breathe through this tension. And maybe you want to scrunch up a little extra part of you so you can twist and scrunch. And then when you want to move on, you're going to stretch nice and wide and long. And maybe there's a yawn. And stick out your tongue and open your eyes. And put lots of space in between your ribs. And take up lots of room so that you're being as wide, as long, or tall as you can. And then I want you to take this into a shake, releasing your head, releasing your torso, and you make the weirdest sound that you're going to make all day. And now I want you to find standing corpse. So find your feet underneath you. Let your knees be soft. Feel your heart beating. Let your jaw hang, so let there be space between your molars. And notice the ground under your feet. Notice the underside of your feet in contact with the floor. Notice that your heart is beating in this moment. And where can you feel your heart? Maybe you can feel it in your chest, but you might feel it in your torso or in your neck or an arm. And notice that you are breathing in this moment. Notice what the physical sensations are in your body as you inhale and as you exhale. And I will count you down. You're going to let this go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. So it's not necessarily that you're trying to change the way that you feel, but through moving your body in a certain way, it might change the way that you feel. So I don't want you to be goal-oriented. I want you to be process-oriented. I want you to be curious. So another thing is you have these amazing fingers. Let's get curious about fingers. What are all the ways that your fingers move? And then you have wrists. What are all the ways that your wrists can move? They can move at different speeds. They can move all in these different directions as you have fingers and wrists. And then you have elbows. What are all the ways that your fingers, wrists, and elbows want to move? And then let that grow into shoulders. What are all the ways that your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers can move? Oh, and then you have this amazing rib cage. So what are all the ways that your rib cage can move? It can collapse, it can expand, it can move to one side or another. You could even use your rib cage to trace shapes, curves and squares, straight lines, and then shake that out. Great. And just rotate your shoulders back as you let your tongue release, as you let your jaw hang, and then rotate your shoulders forward. And maybe there's a yawn. And then squeeze your shoulders, lift your shoulders up, and drop them. And come back to your breath. Feel your feet in contact with the floor. Feel your knees softening here just a little. I'm wanting to separate my feet so that they're a little bit more hip width apart. So perhaps 2 fists or hip width apart, and rock back and forth. So forward and back, forward and back. And then let that rocking get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller, until you find a midpoint. And I want you to imagine that your muscles are all dropping off the bones. So here's your skeleton holding you up. Feel your spine, your strong, flexible spine holding you in this moment. And breathe. Don't breathe in a specific way. Just watch how your body is already breathing. Let your jaw go, let your tongue go. And we'll let this go in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So with these live videos, I'm going to be offering you some practice and some information. And I wanted to jump right in because sometimes I'm a talker. Oh my gosh, I'm a talker. And also sometimes trying to target the brain and getting the brain going is not as conducive to having an experience and to letting the body lead. So I was thinking a little bit after my video yesterday, there's something around, I think, the culture or the marketing of mindfulness. Things like, it can feel a little bit like a Faustian deal. So if I meditate, if I have my green smoothies, if I have my alkaline water, if I do some yoga, I'm never going to get sick and I'm never going to feel stressed. And of course that's BS. And so the problem is that then when we do get sick or we are stressed or we have a bad night's sleep or not positive things happen in our lives, like losing work, everything kind of can feel very haywire. And also sometimes then it feels harder to do mindfulness work. It can feel harder to do somatic work. And especially if you do some of that work and it doesn't make the feelings go away that you would like to eradicate. So why do we do these things? So again, instead of being goal-oriented, I want you to be process-oriented. I want you to be curious. right? What are the sensations of breathing in this moment? How do I know that I'm inhaling without having to look? And what are the sensations of exhaling? All of our bodies have this amazing innate wisdom, this consciousness. And I can speak for myself. For a very long time, I kind of treated my body as the thing that carted my brain around, and also the thing that needed to be beaten into submission. That my body had to be leaner, that my body had to be more flexible, that my body had to be pushed to extremes. And I still love that. I'm an endurance athlete, I'm a triathlete. But I was not very receptive to what my body was telling me. And when you don't listen to the murmurs and the whispers of your body, then the body starts to scream. And you have to start listening at some point, or the body starts to break down. And that also, a lot of us may have grown up kind of thinking of the brain and the body being separate, but we now know that that isn't true. So for those of us who are going through changes, and any kind of change is going to be linked, or probably going to be linked to feelings of stress, changes, unknowns, right? And I feel like we are living in a moment of change and unknown. It's all the more important to be able to listen to your body, to be able to move your body, to be able to talk to your body, and to let your body have a voice. And it's really amazing to then see, perhaps, if your mind can follow the body. So for this next moment that we're going to spend together, I want you to go back into your body. I want you to notice that you're breathing. And I want you to drop your head to your chest. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder and breathe. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder and breathe. Left ear to left shoulder and breathe. Right shoulder to right ear and breathe. One more time. Left ear to left shoulder and breathe. And right ear to right shoulder and breathe. Bring the head back down to the center of the chest. Take a breath here. Find a fist, hopefully your own. Take that fist under the forehead to raise the head up and look to the left and the right. Find an object in this room to look at. And as you look at this object, hopefully it's interesting or neutral to look at. Soften your tongue. And notice if something else in your body softens as well. Check in with your butt. Sometimes we're great butt clenchers. You don't need to clench your butt in this moment. Notice this object. What are its colors? What are its textures? What is the shape of the object or the shapes within it? How does the light play on this object? And then you'll let that go in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Sorry, there's just a message that's come through. There we go. Just letting that go. Oh, lots of messages coming through. There we go. Hi, everybody. So, as you move through your day today, my challenge for you is to think about process, not product. For you, I challenged you yesterday to find opportunities to be playful. And if that still speaks to you, please be playful. But an alternative is curiosity. For those of us, I'll speak for myself, feeling anxiety, and I have a history of anxiety, finding opportunities to be playful and or curious are really beautiful ways to balance out that anxiety. For those of us who are thinking about months ahead, years ahead, my challenge for myself, and so I invite you to join me, is to stay breath by breath, step by step, day by day, because I've certainly experienced how quickly things have shifted in a week, in 10 days. So how could I possibly project what things are going to look like in 6 months, in a year? As I find my breath, I also find myself open to new opportunities for connection to myself and to others, new opportunities for creativity, some practical things, new opportunities for resources that I need that I may not think about, that I may not be able to expect. Sometimes we go, this is what success looks like. This is my income stream. This is what productive looks like. This is what my art is going to look like. And so at times like this, when it can feel like the floor is dropped out, instead of then getting rigid or tight or shutting down entirely, what a beautiful opportunity to open up, to see the resources that you have to give, the strengths that you have to draw on, and that there may be opportunities that show up that you could never have predicted. One last suggestion. Artists, this may actually be an opportunity to reach out to people whose work you respect, to people who are living a trajectory that you feel inspired by, because a lot of us have free time. And so what a beautiful time to say, hey, I would love to buy you a coffee virtually. I'd like to FaceTime you. I would like to do this for you, and in exchange, I would love to have the opportunity to have a conversation with you. Or I just want to say how much I respect your work. And at this time when I am feeling paused, I look at the work that you've created and I find that very inspiring. Sorry, I feel a tickle in my throat. Don't worry, I'm not sick. I'm just feeling dry. I had a workout this morning. It was very strength-based. But I don't think I drank enough water. So this pause can actually be opportunity. It can be an opportunity to build professional relationships with people, to build mentor relationships with people, to connect with people that you have respected or inspired by, to follow up on emails or attempts to reach out that for whatever reason, maybe that person was busy, they didn't get back to you about. This may be your opportunity. And my hope, my vision is that there may be some projects that people will go, look, I got no budget, I got nothing to do. Why don't a couple of us get together and make something? One. And two, that when things do start to happen again, when the economy starts going, when film projects start going, modeling projects, performance opportunities, things like that. You want to be sharp, you want to be ready, because those people who kind of give up and don't keep themselves in practice will be flat-footed out the door. And B, you want to be cultivating those relationships so that you potentially will have opportunities. That's not why we do it. We do it because it's the right thing to do. We do it because we have integrity. We do it because we're a community. But how beautiful it is to work with people you enjoy working with, people who inspire you. And so what are the opportunities now? Stay in practice. Stay contacting the present moment. Stay moving your body in whatever way that is, even when it's stormy. Atlanta just opened up and had a big storm an hour ago. And everything that you do now matters. Be safe, be well. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.